Mr. Gary Racan, former lead singer of Chuck Blasko's Vogues, and the star of Warriors Rock, who is coming to Laurel Highlands High School Auditorium next Saturday evening. Our special guest, and Gary, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
You are a Fayette County native, is that correct? Born in Fayette County?
My family is from Republic, Pennsylvania.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Now, how did you get started in the music business, especially how did you get tied up with Chuck Blasko's Vogues?
Well, I got started with Chuck Blasko. He had heard me sing, and he was looking for a new lead singer for the band. And actually, it took about a year and a half of rehearsing with him because the type of music we were doing and the vocals were so intricate. I trained for about a year and a half before I even started to perform with them.
Now, who was with you when you were with the Vogues? I know Chuck was, but who else?
Chuck and a guy by the name of Bo Wagner.
Does the Frank Sinatra impersonations?
He does the Frank Sinatra thing, yeah.
No Bo well, so that would have been a very interesting group at that time. In fact, I think I had seen you. This is probably the mid '80s.
Yeah, from 82 to about 98. Left in 98.
Well, was Huey Geyer with you at that point, too, for a while?
No, Huey was still retired while I was performing with him.
Okay, because I know he had come back and then sang for a while and then left them again. I think he is retired again.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, let's talk about the important thing. Tell us about Warriors Rock. How did that happen to come about, and why did you get involved?
Well, since I've left the Vogues about 15 years ago, my wife and I had put together a band, and it's evolved into one of the top 3 private events bands in the country. It's a 15-piece band, and we do every genre of music, and the fact that we do mostly everything private, our family and friends, they never get a chance to hear us perform, so we sat around one night and thought, how could we do something and be able to have our friends and family come and see us. So the idea of Warriors Rock was born when we thought, well, let's do something for the veterans and put on a concert that our family and friends can see this fabulous Super Bowl band we put together that it's taken 15 years of just getting the best players and singers around.
Now, from what I understand, all of the money raised through the Warrior Rock concert stays local. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I know when you are doing the one next week here in Uniontown at Laurel Highlands High School, part of it's going to the Dog Tag Club, AMVETS, I think the American Legion, Laurel Highlands Junior ROTC, and I believe the Vietnam Veterans.
That is correct.
Great choice of charities that you were doing this to. It's not that often that you get a chance to see a concert like that where the money does stay local and not going into salaries or other national things. So we want to tip our hat to you.
Well, we've learned our lesson as we've been doing this. We were involved with a couple different organizations. We had no control over helping some of the veterans that were locally involved in our concerts. We tried to help them, but through board of directors and different things, we could not get money to people here that really needed help. So that's when we came up with the idea we would donate everything locally for that particular concert.
Now, do you have a website that you would like to mention?
That's warriorsrock.org.
If they would go on to it, would they find any of your CDs or any material that if they wanted to purchase, they could find?
Yes, they can go on there and find that.
Okay, will there be a collectible item or anything for sale on next Saturday at Laurel Highlands? Any CDs or anything?
We have CDs and also T-shirts.
I don't want to take any of the thunder away from next Saturday night, but I understand that there's going to be a special presentation also of some veterans that were pre-recorded, and they're going to do a little bit of biography about that. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that's basically how our concerts are set up up. My wife Kim, who organizes all of this, she goes into the city, and I think she puts together 8 or 10 veterans and does interviews with them, and they basically are recorded in videos, and the videos are shown behind the stage of the band. And when the video comes on, the veteran talks about where he was deployed, what branch of the service he was in, if he served in a war. But at the end of the interview, he basically talks about how much they love music and what song was very important to them, made them think of home when they were deployed. And when they say the name of the song, the band breaks into that song and performs it.
Now that is something different.
Very different.
And I imagine you get a lot of good response from that.
Oh, it's fabulous. A very heartwarming experience for the audience and the veterans. We do music from anywhere from World War II all the way up to today's music.
Okay, now how long of a show will this be next Saturday night?
It'll be 2 hours.
And I understand that you were going to have a very special guest with Mr. Walt Maddox.
Walt's going to come up and do a song, I believe.
Well, I know Walt had sung with the Marcells, and he does his Nat King Cole tribute, so that ought to be very interesting.
Very talented man.
Now, how many of the Warrior Rock concerts have you done, Gary?
I'd say about 8 so far.
And that's been all over the country, or just in western Pennsylvania? Or?
Pretty much around the country, yeah.
And what kind of response have you been getting to these?
It's fabulous. People want us to take it further. And my wife Kim is working with major sponsors, which I can't say right now because everything's up in the air, but we might land a major corporation to sponsor us doing a national tour.
Well, that sounds great, and I know tickets are $25. All seats up at the Laurel Highlands High School Auditorium are good. There's not a bad seat in the house. What time will the doors open, do you know? Is that 7 o'clock or 6:30?
6:30.
And concert starts at 7:30. You will be doing quite a bit. Walt will be there. Anything else that the fans need to know?
No, just come and enjoy a great night of music and bring awareness back to our veterans. Very patriotic. You'll be laughing and you'll be tears in your eyes when you walk out of this place.
Okay. One other thing: is there a meet and greet after the show? Or people can come up and talk to you, get pictures and stuff?
They sure can.
That sounds good. Okay. We would like to play one of your songs so the people can get a taste of what it's going to sound like. And I figured, well, since you had sung with the Vogues, let's do your version of 5 O'Clock World. If you would be so kind as to introduce it. But before we do, I want to thank you for taking time. I know you're on your way to, Ohio to do a show tonight?
Yes. That is true.
We are looking forward to seeing you next Saturday night at Laurel Highlands High School Auditorium. Tickets are still available, and it's going to be a fun night. So if you would be kind enough to introduce your version of 5 O'Clock World, we're going to play it for the audience.
All right, this is a song I recorded in Nashville. It's a remake of 5 O'Clock World by the Vogues. And when I do the yodel at the end of the song, my fiddle player answers me with the yodel. It's very unique. So I hope you enjoy it.
Up every morning just to keep my job. I've got to find my way through the hustle and mob. Sounds of the city pounding in my brain. Well, another day goes down the drain. It's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. No one owns a piece of my time. And there's a 5 o'clock me inside my clothes, thinking that the world looks fine, yeah. Trading my time for the pay I get. I'm living on money that I ain't made yet. Gotta keep working, gotta make my way, 'cause I live for the end of the day. It's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. No one owns a piece of my time. And there's a long-haired girl who waits, I know, to ease my troubled mind, yeah. In the shelter of her arms, everything's okay. She looks and the world goes nothing else matters at all. 'Cause every time my baby smiles at me, I know that it's all worthwhile, yeah.
Mr. Gary Racan and the Studio E Band and 5 o'clock World. Gary and the Studio E Band be in concert next Saturday night. Warriors Rock, Laurel Highlands High School Auditorium, up on Bailey Avenue. Tickets are $25 and they are still available. You want to go check it out. It's going to be